Welcome everyone to Perched on the Top Shelf. I am your host, former dirt sheet writer Lee Walker. I am joined by the Perched correspondent Justin Largertoe, who was just at WWE Raw last night, and he's back with us tonight. This man is insane. He loves wrestling.
Ain't that the truth?
And I am also joined by a Hasbro custom maker, someone who's a little near and dear to my heart. We've known each other forever. Chris Fantom.
Go Yankees.
Guys, how you doing?
Doing good. Doing great.
I'm good, man. Last night was fucking crazy. I literally just woke up from a nap after just to record this, you know?
And fans, you can tune in Friday to Perched on the Top Rope, as we'll be discussing what happened on Raw, how Justin's experience was. You can also catch his vlog at youtube.com in Justin We Trust. Now, we're going to be talking everything Hasbro related here in a bit. But fans, as you know, we like to do reviews of a lot of these newer things that are out on the market. And as you see, I have this beautiful WWE Mattel Creations Ultimate Edition New Generation Era entrance. This was like the main thing that I wanted. I also didn't realize that I bought the ring and stuff when I actually got mine, which was cool. That's a story for itself. As Justin was just showing off the box is really, really cool. That's like the first thing that really caught my attention, was like that front logo of the WWE from the light, and on the back Justin showing the setup with the ring and the stage and everything and the figures. And on the back it's got Diesel and Doink in the ring with the WrestleMania skirt, and the big WWE light is in the background. It's a beautiful box. It's a lot bigger than I thought too. Like, I wasn't expecting this box to be as big as it was.
Yeah, I didn't know what their plans were going to be with the packaging on all this, because, you know, when they first announced it, you knew it was going to be a lot of shit. And them kind of branding this as the Ultimate Edition ring and the stage and the 2 figures, or 3 figures technically, that come inside. Like, this is fucking huge, man. It's well worth the $250 that was, you know, used to crowdfund it. And anyone who didn't get it during that time, I'm sorry, because it just skyrocketed in price for everything.
Oh yeah, 100%. You know, you go on eBay right now and you see it for sale for like $500, and you're just like, man, you missed out.
I'm one of those guys. I'm one of those people. I actually, you know, I don't collect anything but Hasbro, but just seeing them now and seeing how the lights work and everything, I do kind of wish that I grabbed one, if for no other reason to keep it in the box for 20 years down the road. You know?
Yeah, like, look at this. This thing does like all these different like blinking things, and you know, just like the WWF entrance of that era did. Now, Chris, you know, and Justin, you see here, I have one of my Hasbro ones, but also one of my Elite ones it's a little bigger than the Hasbro. These ones just light up like as Justin's is doing. It's just the straight lights. Chris, you have one of these.
Yep, I do. Yep.
And these entrance things are great. The guy who makes these, I don't remember his name, and I apologize. I'll make sure I have who he is in the description and everything. These lights, compared to this one, compared to Mattel, is fairly cheap. And my favorite, though, is the fact that it has the WWF logo. It's always been something that's very big to me, because, you know, with this new school stuff, it's always like just the W. And as an old school type of fan, it's nostalgic, but it's not authentic, because it's not what WWF was.
Yeah, I'd rather have the F on mine than have the lights bouncing around. You know, it's great. I really like the authenticity of that old school 80s, 90s look.
Yeah. And the WWF ones, they're custom made, by the way. Really, it's great quality work.
Super high quality. Yeah, they're awesome.
It's made different than this one, but you plug them in, they turn on. The whole front lights up as the colors of what the lights are, of the reds and the blues and the pinks and the greens and the yellows and everything. And it's really, really cool. Now they don't do all the little things like this one does with the,
Oh, I didn't know about that. That's cool.
yeah, like it does
cool.
like it does all these different little features and stuff, which is really cool.
That's awesome.
But I have in the WWF the Hasbro, and then an elite size, which is just a tad bigger. This thing is huge. This light is huge, guys. Like this thing is.
Can you fit your 2-up through that? Oh wow, yeah, absolutely. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Like that for an elite is still big because this light is smaller and fits the elites.
Yeah.
For me, even though it's got the E logo, like just the WWE logo as the light, I give it a solid 9 out of 10.
Oh yeah.
It does a lot. So when I first saw this thing, I didn't realize it had all the light functions that it did. I thought it just straight up lit up, and I was like, yo, that's cool, but I have the actual WWF logo one.
Right. I remember us talking about that.
And got it much cheaper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then like I saw all the stuff it did and I was like, oh crap. Now I kind of want it. Yeah, of course I wasn't one of the ones who crowdfunded, so lucky me. I mean, I still got a hell of a deal. Let's not lie here.
Yeah, you did get a fucking lucky deal. I will say that.
Yeah. So it's really, really cool. Justin, what do you think of the light?
I love it, man. Like and I haven't really had the chance to like really take it out and display it. But looking at it right now, and this is probably like the second or third time I've done this, showing it on video, I don't think really does it justice. It really, when you're in person, it's awesome. The neon lights, they pop, they're bright. And to your complaint about not having the WWF logo, that's more of a thing where I can understand it. There's not much we can really do about that. But yeah, this thing is awesome, man. This was way better than I could have even expected from Mattel.
Yeah, 100%. And Phantom is having a Royal Rumble right now, ladies and gentlemen.
No, I knew it was bound to happen at least once.
So
it wasn't too bad.
So Justin, when you first open the box, this light is the first thing you see. You pull it out, you play with it. It's fun, but there's more to that than just this. Now, when you first open it up, removing the light, Justin.
Yeah. So once you take out the stage, before I even show this box is pretty much a bottomless pit of just more and more shit from Mattel. But as soon as you take the stage out, you got your Ultimate Diesel and your Ultimate Doink. And let me just pull these out. Now, here's your Diesel. Diesel's pretty basic, but I think it's actually like the best likeness I've seen of Diesel from Mattel, in all honesty. You have the interchangeable head where it's kind of the serious and then the screaming, interchangeable hands, the vest. Like I said, pretty basic, but it's a great looking figure. I would have liked to see them, include the Winged Eagle. Because I mean, when you look at this in the new generation, you think of Diesel as one of the world champions, And, to include him in the set, I feel like putting the Winged Eagle with him would have really helped too. But there's a action shot of Diesel as the figure, and then the, real life shot. Diesel on the side.
Because during the new gen era, he was, I believe, one of the longest reigning WWF champions they had.
Yeah. I think about a week shy of a year.
Yeah.
And another thing I think is cool about these, so they don't tape these Ultimate Edition boxes in this set.
Oh, nice.
They just open freely.
Hmm.
And here's another little Easter egg on the top here. Big Daddy Cool.
That's pretty cool.
That's dope.
Diesel power.
Oh, wow.
And then, like, what I think honestly is up there for figure of the year. And I know it was kind of an oddball choice to include Doink in this, but this thing is fucking awesome, man.
It's a great figure.
Look at this. 3 interchangeable heads. The hair comes off on each one.
Yeah.
You got the mallet, the interchangeable hands, the jacket. Like, this is heel Doink to a fucking T here. And there's the figure shot with the real life shot and Doink on the side.
That's just a great looking figure, man.
Yeah, it's awesome. I haven't had the chance to, like, pull them out quick and kind of display them.
Yeah.
But
And those were exclusive, right? You had to be in on the crowdfunding.
yeah, the only way to get this is with the ring.
Okay.
Like, no other way. But another thing, if you had pre-ordered by a certain date, you would get another Ultimate Edition.
Yeah, there was a Macho Man, right?
Was there a Macho Man?
Wasn't that what it was? I don't remember who it was. There was a Macho Man.
Yeah, because it's Macho Man.
I couldn't remember who it was. Honestly, that was a guess. I'm glad I was right.
Yeah, this is the commentator Macho Man. This is based off WrestleMania 10 with the gear and everything.
Yeah, no, that's really cool.
It comes with monitors, the microphones, and actually it has 2 hats, just a regular cowboy hat, and then the other one has the microphone implemented in it.
Yeah, I see that. That's awesome.
And I wish they would have done something like that when they were making figures of like Jim Ross, because I think it would have been perfect.
Yeah.
And this one unfortunately is taped, so I can't really take it out. But behind all of this is the commentator's table with the blue skirt and the chairs and everything.
Oh wow.
So it's literally like a full commentator set with this Macho Man.
That's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
I didn't know all that.
Yeah, and we'll put them right there for now, just to get a good look at them.
Yeah, those are awesome, man. I mean, and like you said, that Diesel's—it's a great figure. It's just compared to those other two, it's the lesser of the 3 for sure.
Yeah, it's cool. It's just there's not much to it, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, there wasn't much to Diesel. I mean,
right?
What would you have done different? I mean, maybe put him in the silver top, perhaps. I don't know.
That was the first thing that came to my mind.
Yeah,
too.
I mean, he's tough to change up, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's not much there you can do. Maybe put like a pair of sunglasses in with it. The belt, like you said earlier, Chris.
Yeah. That's and we'll get into that too. I think those belts will help some, when you try to customize certain figures too, it's just like, what can you do? Like Duggan, there's not a lot you can do with Duggan. There's not a lot you can do with, Jake, really. There's not a whole lot. You got 3 or 4 options there. So like, I think that maybe thinking about getting into doing some more like accessorizing will be a fun idea down the road too.
Yeah.
Not to jump ahead.
Now, Justin, you pull out the Ultimate Edition figures of Doink and Diesel, and there's another flap that you open that brings you into even more stuff.
This is all the parts of the ring. Like in here, you got your turnbuckles, your truss for the ring, and then to the sides of these, like here are your posts, and here is the ring skirt, or not the ring skirt, the ring mat, and another layer comes out. Oh, I'm glad I pulled this out all the way, because here's another thing. When you pull these little boxes out, each layer, there's a crowd there.
Oh, no kidding.
You can set it up against your stage.
Yeah,
no kidding.
Cool.
And right here, this was one of the benefits to getting the backers for the ring. You would get additional ring skirts. And if I could just pull these out quick. So you have your basic WB logo, WF logo with the blue apron. You have WrestleMania. And not going to pull that one out all the way, but that one's going to be in your house.
Oh yeah. Yep, I see it. Yep.
Only reason
I'm not pulling them out all the way is because they're a bitch to get back in.
How do those attach on? Like, is it like a Velcro or?
So it has the little elastic band on each side.
Oh, okay.
And literally they just go right over the ring post.
Awesome.
And another thing, which is a first time ever with this ring. So instead of just having the regular baseboard to the ring underneath the ring mat, you get pallets of wood, like an actual ring.
Huh.
And there's 3 of them here, so I'll put them all together just to like give an idea of how big this is.
I honestly really haven't gone farther than pulling the light out, to be honest with you.
Like,
oh wow.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when people were complaining about that $250 price tag, they didn't really realize what that was gonna get them, you know?
Right, and
Yeah.
everything here is like it's well worth the $250.
No, I haven't seen any of it like in person yet. I'm looking forward to next time I get to over to Lee's. Hopefully he's got it set up by then. We'll see if that's the case or not.
It's never probably coming out of the box.
Oh, I was just about to say, Lee got the light. He got what he wanted.
Yeah, I'm just like the light is the only thing coming out. Like the rest of it is just sitting in the box and looking pretty.
There you go.
Unless I have room at some point in my life to like display a fucking ring that big.
I wish I had done that with my Hasbro ring. Oh, come on.
Because right now my favorite is displaying the Hasbros at the Hasbro bar, and I got the retros in my office. They're displayed. All right, look at that. Those look awesome.
Killer.
He was like, screw it, I'm pulling them out anyway.
Well, the one got fucked up when I put it back in, so I just pulled it out.
Yeah, it's awesome. That WrestleMania looks dope.
And in your house.
Crap. All right, maybe I'll display it with the in your house because I was a huge fan of the in your house series when they did those. Those were cool. And that's how they set up for 12 pay-per-views a year at that time, was in your house.
Yep. Lee, where was the first in your house held?
I believe Syracuse, New York.
Onondaga War Memorial, baby.
Booyah. Our backyard, Chris.
That's right. I had to miss that show because of my sister's birthday. I'm still kind of sour about that one.
I would be too. I would be too.
So would I.
So Justin, with all of this stuff, like for $250, did you get your money's worth in your eyes?
110%. Absolutely. Look, when you think about it, these ultimate editions themselves retail for $35-$40. Think about that. You get free ultimates. That's $120 already. The ring is probably what, let's say 80 to 100. And that's just off of a normal real scale ring.
Well, how much did they announce how much they're going to sell the WWF Raw ring?
I want to say that's 100.
So yeah, I would assume that this ring would be 100 then.
Yeah. And then let's say the stage is 60, 70, around that area. I mean, well worth it.
Yeah. yeah, 100%. I mean, beyond pulling the light out, really haven't looked until like the only thing I did do is like I opened up like part of it and was like, why the hell are there stairs and shit in here? I just wanted the light. I didn't realize like I bought the whole like fucking pretty much kit and caboodle. I just don't have the figures, which I'm fine with because I don't collect the ultimate editions anyway. I really just wanted the light. Like once I saw what this light did, I was so mad. I was mad.
I told you to crowdfund it, bro.
You know, because like like I said, these lights for the Hasbros that I have with the F logo are great. I don't have them on because like the light transparent's different on camera, where it doesn't show as as good as like this Mattel one, but in photos it's great, and I know they look great in photos because Chris Fantom right here has an Instagram to which he showcases his custom made Hasbros with the Hasbro light. And Chris, what is that Instagram so people can see all your customs?
That is Cuse_Hasbro_customs. No longer in Cuse, but that's where it all started. So I was still there at the time. I gotta disagree with you though. I think with those pictures, I stopped taking those with the light on because I couldn't get it right. I don't like the way those were coming out.
Okay.
Just probably off my phone or whatever. I need to figure out. I'm sure there's a way, but it doesn't, like you were saying, it never comes off like yours into the camera right now. It looks incredible. Those other ones, I think they're a little like too neon-y. You know what I mean?
Yeah. See, I can take a photo with it and get it to come out good, and like I'm happy with it. But on video, if it doesn't come out that good,
it's just the way the light is down here in the dungeon. That's where everything is right now.
So I know everything that I'm going to be asking as far as, these customs and stuff. And as fans can see, I have a lot of them, and this isn't even all of them, from a Andre with mutton chops to the suits that we know the $1 Million Man for, with the white and the gold and the silver with the purple and the green, a Hacksaw Jim Duggan Royal Rumble 88 winner, my recent birthday, an NWO Hogan, which is freaking awesome. And of course there's the Perched on the Top Rope Hogan.
Forgot about that guy.
It's awesome. And then I'm going to get up here real close to the camera to display the $1 Million Man, because you're doing something that I've never seen a custom maker do, which is incredible. I've seen custom makers make these, but not what you're doing, because this is completely awesome and I love it. So with this being said, obviously you're a custom Hasbro maker. For you as a kid, I know the stories, but let's talk about them. These were the first figures you had as a kid, right? Like,
I mean, they weren't like, they were the first wrestling figures for sure. I had my Ninja Turtles and all that sort of stuff first, but these were the first ones that like I really collected. And just a lot of great memories that, like you and I have talked about it ad nauseum at this point, but just, for 3 or 4 years there, this was what you did with your friends, on a Saturday night, you'd have a sleepover or whatever the case was. And you were just playing with Hasbros for hours and hours and hours on end. So, I just forgot about them. As you grow older, you forget about certain things. And one day I remembered them, and I got on, I don't know if it was a Facebook page or it might have been WFigs, or it could have been just Instagram, but I saw Frankie Kyle, who I know you know of and is just one of the top customizers out there. I saw some of his work and I was like, oh, I forgot about these things. And man, that's, he had done something incredible. I don't remember what it was that I saw that day, but I remember the figures. And as it happened, and right in the beginning of the pandemic, I was in Oswego and I stopped by your house. And when I walked in and saw the bar, first thing I saw was Mr. Perfect, which was always my favorite of all the Hasbros as a kid. And that was the start of my recollect. I started, putting them back together, getting the ones that I bag, getting the ones that I could never find as a kid. And as far as the customizing goes, it was just kind of a random thought one night. Like I didn't have anything going on, and I was like, I'm gonna give it a shot. And it was terrible. It came out so bad, but it came out better than it should have. It was awful, but it was good enough that I was like, let's try it again. And so I did, and I think that you might have more of mine than I do at this point, but if you don't, I think I'm up to 20 now. How many of mine do you have? 15?
I'm pretty sure you have more than me.
Okay. I know you were in the high teens at one point.
So far, I know I have 11.
Is that all?
12. Yeah, 12 so far.
That doesn't seem right. Well, all right. 12 is still a pretty decent number. But yeah, I got 20 of my own here. This middle ring is all the ones that I have that I did not make, that were either purchased or were gifts or whatever the case was. But Lee, I know you know about this guy right here. Nature Boy. Oh, we're having another fall down.
It's World War III in WCW.
Oh, it's awful.
3 rings, 60 customs.
Can't move a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that Ric Flair.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
we gotta talk about Eddie Carpenter and this Ric Flair. So our good friend Edward Allen Carpenter, who I think he's got a Facebook page now too. Lee, do you know the name of that? We should have looked that up.
Yeah, I'll look up.
We got to plug Ed. Yeah, look that up for me while I'm talking, please. Eddie, he made this. I'm not a Galoob fan at all. Never was as a kid or anything. And he made one of these Ric Flairs and ended up giving it to our friend Pat Mansonetti. And I was begging him for it the whole time. I was offering him money the whole time he was making it, but he knew the whole time that it was going to be a gift. So I struck up a deal with him and got one made. And this guy is just, he's a couple of his are in this ring. And he's notoriously fast. I mean, you can give him a project, he's done with it in a day or two. And this thing took him, I mean, it was over 2 months, maybe closer to 3 months that it took him to make it. And really, it's just you need to see it up close. It's one of the most incredible pieces. I can't imagine the patience that it took to put this thing together. It's unbelievable. I mean, it really is. I get up a little closer to the camera, but if I move my legs, then the figures are all going to fall down again. I don't feel like doing all of that.
So Ed's page is EAC Custom Galoobs Ltd.
Yes, go check that out because this man is absolutely incredible as well.
So, like, one thing I've noticed is there's certain things that he does with a Galoob, because he does Hasbro's too, but the man is just a genius when it comes to these Galoobs. And he's done another Ric Flair with the robe, which is just as fucking beautiful, being honest.
I mean, like I said, I was begging him for it the entire time. That's why I ended up with this one.
Yeah. So, oh my God. There's always something special about customs. I've always been somebody who, for the longest time, was kind of seemingly against them until my friends, started making them. And now I've got a baker's dozen almost.
Well, let's be fair. I think that Matt DeCosta Brett got you going a little bit too, because
that's exactly what it was. Because now I've got the whole Heart Foundation and the jackets, and I've never seen anyone.
No, I don't know anybody else that has that but you.
And not even that. I don't know anyone that can make an Owen Hart face for a figure and actually have it come out look decent.
Right.
This is the first. This is the only figure, and I was like, I will own that, and I was right.
I have over in my box of parts, I actually have 2 Owen heads, different ones made by DeCosta. So I'm looking forward to doing those very soon too. I'm just waiting on body parts and things like that to get here for them. But decals, actually, those are in the mail, along with a custom Funhouse Bray Wyatt to go with this Fiend here. I don't know how well you can see that, but
I was eyeing that Fiend in the front.
it's probably my favorite. I got to be honest. It's tough to say that after we just talked about that Ric Flair, but I'm such a huge fan of anything Bray Wyatt does at all. I don't tune in to watch wrestling, and I guarantee you that I will be now again just because he's back. The other night was
on the topic. What did you think about the return and how it was done?
I mean, like, how good was that? How amazing was that return? Could they have done it any better? I don't think they could have done it any better.
Just awesome.
The only thing I will say this, I was one of the many people who at first thought that the Fiend was him. And I was like, all right, nice. It's just going to be the Fiend again. I don't want him to be gone. It's such a great gimmick. It really is. And I don't think that it will be. That's what makes Bray Wyatt so great is his creativeness and the way that he has innovative matches. I'm sure that the Fiend will get worked back into a storyline or to at least a match or something somewhere along the way. So, but yeah, I mean, I think I'm just glad that he's back, man. You know what I mean? I'm down for whatever he's got cooking up. I trust him. I trust his genius mind. He is one of the best things that has ever happened to pro wrestling, in my opinion. So I think that we're all better for him being back one way or the other. White Rabbit, Fiend, whatever it may be. But as far as how they executed it, I thought it was absolutely magnificent.
Right. And the biggest change this time around is, Vince is gone. Triple H is, in charge of creative. So pretty much right now, all the handcuffs are off.
I feel like he doesn't, we all know that Vince never likes it when somebody either makes it on their own or comes to him already made. We watched the invasion angle. Booker T was humiliated. That was just awful. And it wasn't just Booker T, but it's everybody that was a star over there got married. And I don't think that Vince could handle the fact that, it was Bray's concept and his creation that was get just so super over, like one of the most over gimmicks of all time. And I don't think that Triple H will do that. I think that he'll let him run a little bit more wild with his creative, and I hope that he does because the man's a genius. So
yeah,
I think we're discussing decals or something. I went off on a tangent. I was talking about Stan. But yeah, I've got a bunch of stuff in the mail is what I was saying right now, decals and body parts and stuff like that. And two Owens actually are going to get done. One is going to my good friend Wes, and I'm keeping the other one for me because, as Lee said, you just never see a good-looking Owen face, and I happen to have two to work with, so I'm keeping one.
Yeah, and so I was always like, I don't want to say like against him because like I'm an OG collector type deal. Like if it's not,
I remember when I first started collecting and was coming over again and hanging out. You were like, you had your Mr. Hughes custom, and you pretty anti-custom other than that.
Yeah,
it really was when you got that Brett. And I mean, I don't blame you. I've got similar ones sitting right here, and one of the best ones I own.
Yeah,
but it was when you got that you kind of slid off. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I do.
No, because like even like when Ed did the New Japan Pro Wrestling Hulk Hogan, for Christmas, like that was like, I was like in awe over that thing. You know what I mean? So, that was one of them. The Brett was one, and then when you got into it, like I'm excited for like when my friends do things. So like this was something cool. You made a lot of cool ones where I was like,
once I started to not be like god awful at it. I mean, I still suck, but at least I'm not like terrible like I was in the beginning.
So like, what is it for you? With these customs, with like, I'll for example, the Legion of Doom.
Yeah,
you just made your own set of Legion of Doom, and the first thing I notice is the spikes and everything.
Yeah.
They're spike pads. Do those come off?
They do come off. They absolutely do come off. We'll pop some off right now, actually. So these pads came off of a Jack specific LOD 2000 set. They were silver and beat to shit. So I spent a couple of days. I didn't have the body parts that I needed to make the figures yet, so I spent a couple of days fixing those up, getting them ready. Because I've killed myself before. Like when I did Jimmy Hart, I don't know if you can see Jimmy back there. I waited to the last second to do the megaphone, and like by the time the figure's done, you just want it to be done, you know. So I learned my lesson there. I had the opportunity to get the accessories finished ahead of time, so that when the figures were done, it was all going to be complete. But yeah, those I was lucky enough to find those for pretty cheap. Matt DaCosta, who I've mentioned a couple times now, amazing, incredible artist who Lee and I own several pieces by. He told me what he does when he makes his. Told me how to find them, what he uses, and said good luck. They're tough to find, and they are tough to find. I was lucky enough to score a set for $20 on eBay. They normally go for like 40 or 50, so I was lucky there. And yeah, I just kind of went for it. It was you see the big guys doing that one, and I'm not quite there yet, but I wanted to give it a shot, and they came out way better than they should have. Super happy with them. I got offered a bunch of money for them, like for a day straight by 3 or 4 different people, and I thought it over, and I couldn't let them go because I don't know that I'll be able to do them that well again. So those ones are staying here with me for good.
That's pretty cool. I mean, the fact that the shoulder pads being able to come off is a big deal.
Yeah. It's like I said, you don't see, you're just every day like playing around type of guy. Like the people doing this stuff are the people that are backed up with orders for the next year. People that you see on Instagram with 5,000 followers, and that they should have because they're amazing. You know what I mean? Like, so I challenged myself with that one quite a bit. I did not know that it was going to come out very well at all, and it did. So I'm really happy with those. That Fiend, like I said, is probably my favorite one. Those are probably my favorite that I've made. If not those, then this Mr. Perfect hiding back here, the Survivor Series 1992 edition. You don't see it happening a lot. You don't see a lot of people doing that. Like you mentioned earlier, the $1 Million Man. Love doing the MDM figures. They're great, but everybody does those. It's not a difficult one to do. It's fun to do. And I do, I've been incorporating glitter paint to kind of make the suits pop and look more realistic. And that's, you don't see that so often, but you do see it. You see it plenty. Oh, what are you grabbing? Which color again?
I'm glad you brought that up because I'm going to get up close to the camera and show off like what.
Oh, sure, yeah. Oh, see, I thought we were going to show the belt first. That looks great.
Like, look at the.
Not to toot my own horn, but man, that is one of my favorite ones.
Justin, how awesome does that look?
Yeah, Chris does a great job with the glitter. I saw the one he recently did with the white suit with the $1 Million Man and the championship, and in person it just looks phenomenal the way that he was able to pull that off and the way he was able.
Honestly, that white glitter paint is difficult to work with. So I just buy like actual glitter paint, and then normally we'll buy the color, coinciding color of glitter, and mix some extra in there so that it sticks better and pops more. You can't really do that with the white paint, so I just had to rely on what it was and do 2 or 3 extra layers. And it didn't look great down here in the dungeon. When I got it to you guys, it looked awesome under the beautiful lights of Hooters on Wolf Road. So
now, one thing that he has done that's really cool, especially with the glitter, like look at the silver popping.
Yeah, that's awesome.
In the suit. And a lot of people make this, but it doesn't have the shine. Now, I can't tell if you can tell or not, but
yeah, I forgot I did that.
He's holding money. He paid money for the figure.
Yeah.
Now,
I'm not even excited about that. I thought of that at random, and I was like, yo, Ed, look at this. And I showed him. He knew exactly what I was doing, too. All it was a tiny little rectangle of clay. And he was like, oh, yeah, there you go.
So this is the one that was my birthday present. Like, look at the logos with the pant on the
Shout out to Stan for those decals.
Look at that.
Yeah,
that
and
came out very, very well.
Chris, you did a great job at applying those decals too. I got to give it to you, man.
Man, all credit goes to Stan the man. He, he sends out a quality product. He's been hooking up a lot of us, man. A lot of people who are trying to do, really some of the stuff you just can't hand paint. Like that shirt on that Hogan. It's, you're not going to be able to hand paint that. So he's been helping out a lot of guys in the community. He's a really good dude. Stan Michaels, I'm sorry, is his name on Facebook. And prices are very fair. He ships out quick. He's a really, really good guy to deal with. He's been, like I said, it's you can get decals from a bunch of people. You can try to make it yourself. It's a matter of the quality of the decal, and I just trust him, and so I appreciate the compliment. I do have to give him credit where it's due, though, man. He sends out a quality product, and it was very easy to get that done, and it doesn't look like it was, but it was very easy to get that thing done, just because of the quality of the product.
Right.
Now, this one I'm really, really excited to talk about for an obvious reason.
Yep, there we
Yep,
go.
there it is.
Look at the shine on the belt.
Yep. So I had a couple extra belts. I had a Hasbro Winged Eagle, and I had that. The clasp was broken. I had to fix it anyways. So I was like, well, you're already working on this thing.
Look at that.
Why not try to make that thing shine too? And the actual belt, everything was, rhinestoned, and on the Hasbro version, only the 3 big dollar signs are. So I was like, let's try to make that pop too. And same thing. All it is glitter paint. It's not difficult to do. And if anybody's out there listening and wants to try it, it is literally a $1 bottle of glitter paint from Michael's and a little bit of patience and a little bit of time. It's they're really fun to make. They come out looking awesome. I've got here. I'm gonna have to risk it, but I'm gonna get up close to the camera too. Please don't fall over. I've had enough of that. All right. I'm not sure if you guys can see where I'm. There we go. So I just completed the Winged Eagle Hasbro as well, and that came out looking really cool. So I'm super happy about that. And Lee and I are going to look into. I know Lee is looking into right now getting some $1 million belts, but I think what I'm going to do is just get as many reproduction ones as I can. If I'm going to paint them up anyways, they don't need to be official, and it'll keep the cost down for me and anybody who wants to get one. But I've got, I really like how this one came out. I just think that it's more realistic, you know what I mean? And sometimes I wish I'm doing these things and I look at that and I'm like, man, I would have killed for that when I was 10. Too late now, but at least it's here.
So what I love about it is, like, we've seen others make Hasbro belts, and I know Chris, like the ones I'm talking about, but I'm going to show off a couple other ones.
Oh yeah, those are great. What's that? Wrestling Figure Workshop ones, yeah.
Yeah, these ones.
Yes, those are awesome. Those are fantastic belts.
But then I've got this that I had that this guy makes, and this is like the Owen Hart European Championship. The back of the belt, like, this is all Owen Hart related stuff. Like, it says King of Hearts.
Dude, that thing is badass.
Cool.
When did you get that?
I got these a while back. I don't even remember who I got them from. But here's a couple other ones. Like, here's Razor Ramon.
Oh wow.
Damn, that's sick. Yeah, Razor is a custom I've yet to do. I tried one and messed up, and so nobody ever saw it. But I gotta get into doing some razors. Brett David did a hand painted razor, which is impressive and not something that I would even attempt. I'm going straight to Stan, getting decals for any type of razor work. And Brett David, man, he just went for it, and it came out looking awesome. Green trunks with the slam action, no shirt. It was really, really nice looking razor.
So there's something to be said about like these custom belts. We see people doing some with their own little twist, and you have your own little twist with yours. So what made you decide to go with trying to do a belt? What was the decision?
I mean, honestly, like I said, I just had a couple extras. I think what was going on was I was waiting for coats of paint to dry on the figures that I was working on that night, and I was just in the zone. I was rolling, and so I just wanted to keep painting something up. And I looked over and I saw that $1 million belt, and I remembered that I had to fix the clasp on it, and so I did that. And just as I was holding it, I was like, "Hey, you know what? You got to repaint this thing because it was all chipped to shit. It looked like hell." So I was like, this thing, I was just gonna, maybe silver Sharpie or whatever. That's what I did with my, I think it's over here, my Hasbro Winged Eagle, the one that I didn't paint on. It was all black, so I just took a gold Sharpie to it. And it looked great, so I left it. And Lee will tell me it should have been a silver Sharpie. We just got into that argument the other day. He's not technically wrong. But yeah, I thought it would look cool, and I got the belt for like $12 because it was broken. So worst case scenario, it wasn't going to look cool, and I could throw it in the trash and not really have to care about it because it was $12. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you really don't want to waste the money on, like, if I buy a fleet of bodies, Dave Calloway, Wrestling Tycoon on Instagram, he'll make you whatever body you want. He can 3D print anything. And if I buy a fleet of those and then spend $100 on bodies, I don't want to waste one of those. But for a $12 belt, it was either going to work or it wasn't, and luckily it did. So now we're on to something new and cool that we can do, and I think it'll help out. Like I said earlier, there's certain figures that you can make the coolest Jim Duggan custom in the world, and it's just not going to look that great. It's it'll look, even if it looks great, it's not going to pop next to another custom. So I think that, if you can do like maybe a cool stained looking 2x4 or something, just make it stand out. These belts will help with, the $1 million man is not the like I said earlier, it's not the craziest thing. A lot of people make them. So I think if I'm putting those belts on mine, it'll just make them look a little different, a little bit cooler, or whatever. You know what I mean? It just makes them stand out. But I like the way it looks. I think it gives a more realistic look to the belts that we had growing up.
Yeah, it does really make them pop, because like I'm looking at mine, and yeah, I'm gonna need like 5 done. So
yeah, Wes ordered a couple. I think he wanted to get one of each. I don't remember what he said exactly. Actually, I'm working on a figure for Wes right now that I'm excited as all hell about. He asked for an Ultimate Warrior in Miami Dolphins colors. And like, that's fine. I'm not going to judge people. So I said, yeah, sure, Wes, whatever. And then he suggested, I don't know if I'm going to do this or not, but he suggested instead of doing the Warriors logo on the chest, that I put the Dolphins logo on the chest. And it's pretty simple. It's very doable. I can absolutely pull it off. It might be cool. It's a one-off figure for a Dolphins fan. I feel a certain way about maybe not doing that, because
yeah, even with you kind of explaining that, I'm just gonna
I don't know, man. I don't want that out there because he's gonna like tag me and shit. I don't want people knowing I did that. Oh, dude.
Who the fuck put a dolphin on the Ultimate Warrior's chest?
That's what it really is about for me, is disrespecting the Warrior. But I mean, at least it's a series 1, so it's not like it's one of the cool ones.
Right.
But yeah, no, I mean, I'm excited to do it. I think it's gonna look really cool when it turns out. But just because it's such a strange, Wes has hit me with 2 very strange requests now. One time he sent me just a random butch and asked me to paint just one bushwhacker for him. I was like, all right, I guess. But now after that, he wants a Dolphins themed Ultimate Warrior. So whatever makes him happy.
So what's been the most challenging Hasbro for you to make?
Right now, I'm getting my ass kicked by an earthquake. believe it or not. And it shouldn't be this difficult, and I don't know why it is. But just the white strip with the black, whatever it is, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I can't get that black part right. I've had to repaint the white like 3 different times. So it's sitting over there waiting for me until I feel either ambitious or more patient than usual one day, and we'll finish up then. Most challenging, doing the Crush logo hand painted. I've tried twice. Twice it sucked. So that's not easy, but I can't find a good decal for it. Brett is deceivingly hard. The eyes are the most difficult part of doing a custom. So the guys with sunglasses on, right? You're like, all right, cool. Brett is just difficult. I don't know what it is about, and it might just be me. But man, I have a tough time with Brett. I gotta stick with Brett probably is the answer, just because I've tried to do him more than the others, and I feel like every time I end up getting pissed off and I don't finish it on time and all that. But painting the Series 1 Macho Man, painting around those stars for the people that want the green trunks Macho. I like to paint around good Hasbro stars. Again, I have not found decals that small, and I'm not that great with painting stars on them, so I like to keep the original ones on there if possible. And that can be super difficult too. And that's more a matter of having the right paintbrushes, just having the right tools on hand. But yeah, I'd have to say Brett. It's just deceivingly hard. You would not think that'd be the one.
Well, Brett also just has a shitty fucking face on every single one of his Hasbros,
He does. What are him and the Mountie looking at? Like, what's up and over there a little bit? There's something up and over here a little. What? Yeah, I never liked that either. I love the Brett figures. I mean, I love them both, but that was just because it was Brett and I was 8.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're not good looking figures. Like they can look cool on a display, but playability, they were not the best.
Yeah, Brett is like Owen. There's never been a good head scan, even like with the elites.
You're right. You're right, and they're so intricate now, and they still can't get Brett right.
No, it's
just an ugly dude who taps to his own finisher.
I mean, you're not wrong. So, when it comes to the Hasbro, like the custom Hasbros, I know like some of the process. You guys use clay to mold things quite a bit.
Me too, yeah.
What would you tell somebody who's new, just starting out doing customs, that you might be able to help them out, because you were once a new guy on the block too?
I'm still a new guy. So I would tell them the same thing that the great Matt DeCosta said. Don't take it serious. Don't, you know what I mean? Like, it's a fun thing. It should be a fun thing. For me, like, people buy them off me, but I don't ever make them for that purpose. I make them because I feel like making that figure. And if it sits on my shelf, awesome. That's great. It's just a hobby, you know what I mean? And your hobby should be fun, and customs are super fun. So you should have fun with it. Don't take it serious. If you fuck it up, you fuck it up. You can always paint over your fuck up, and the other than that, invest in like the right tools. I was trying to do everything just like by hand, and like looking at it. You're not going to be able to do the hearts on Brett's leg. I mean, I'm sure that these guys that I talked about earlier probably can, but I can't. I bought a light with a magnifying glass, and that made all the difference in the world. I started upgrading my paintbrushes and all that. So just having the right tools for the job, good lighting, magnifying glass, whatever you need to have to get in there and do the details really well. That's started helping out immensely with the eyes too. Because like I said earlier, doing the eyes is the toughest part. If you look at that white $1 million man that you just got versus that Andre that I made you, Andre's eyes are awful on that. I mean, it's a cool looking figure, but the eyes are just terrible on it. It was right when I first started. And that white $1 million man that you got last weekend, that looks just about like a Hasbro. So having the right tools and and lighting is huge. But the most important thing is like I said, it's a hobby. It should be fun. Have fun with it. Don't take it too seriously. You're gonna suck. Like, you're gonna suck. It's all a matter of, like, do you want to suck long enough to not suck, or if you're the type of person who wants to be good at something right away, then you probably won't like it. But like, if just be okay with sucking, because it's fun. It's still fun when you suck, and you're probably going to. So that's the best advice that I would give it. So that's what I would give back.
Awesome. And Chris, where can fans find you on Instagram again?
That is Cuse Hasbro Customs _ under each thing. So CUSE _ Hasbro _ Customs.
So Justin, I'm gonna do something different this week
Okay.
for Figure Up the Week. Chris, you have a plethora of custom Hasbros in front of you.
I do.
I'm going to let you pick Figure of the Week.
Ooh.
Okay. Well, if I'm picking figure of the week, I gotta cheat a little and say shout out to Darren Sedgwick on this 2-up. Figure of the year is this Nature Boy Ric Flair. And it's not a Hasbro. We're going figure of the week. We're going figure of the month. We're going figure of the millennium on Nature Boy Ric Flair, made by the great Edward Allen Carpenter.
Chris, without creating World War III, could you bring that figure up close to us?
I can. You know what? At this point, let's create it if we have to. We're late in the game here, baby. Late in the game, and the Yankees tied it up.
Justin, wait till you see this thing, dude.
This entire time I've been watching in the background. I did not see that they scored, though. I'm very happy now.
Oh, shit. Wow.
Now, Justin,
the other one that he did. Sorry, Lee, go ahead.
This galoob was no robe. This was all handmade.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, this thing weighs about a pound and a half. And it's a galoob.
That's awesome.
The other one that he made that he gave to Pat says Ric Flair on the back, and mine says Nature Boy. I think that's really cool that he's kind of doing variations of them, but he has a fleet of Ric Flairs that he just got. He's got a fleet of Ric Flairs that he's got. He's going to start doing a bunch of these. And again, go follow that Facebook page, because Eddie is the man. And he's a lot better than I am. So if you like this stuff, then you'll love what he's putting out. And especially if you're a Galoob fan. I never was as a kid. Like I said, this is probably the only one that I will ever care about until I get my Galoob Stone Cold Steve Austin that is also on the way right now. I don't know if Lee knows about that or not, but I got a Stone Cold. I think I asked him to make me a Brett as well. And unfortunately, we are just a day early, because I would have had tomorrow. I'm getting in the mail one of the greatest Macho Man customs you will ever see in your life. Matt DaCosta 1991 Royal Rumble poster edition. And I'm getting my Funhouse Parade tomorrow too. So we were a day early on this one, unfortunately, but I'm excited to see those tomorrow. And no eyes yet, but we do have another Malloway Hogan in the works right now that is coming out spectacularly. So I was hoping to have him done before, but things got in the way. Life happens.
Awesome. Fans, make sure you go and check out Chris. Make sure you check out our boy Eddie's Facebook page. Make sure you check out Justin at youtube.com and Justin We Trust, as he'll be having more vlogs coming out soon, because God forbid the guy stay home and not go to a wrestling
I
show.
swear to God, I only come home to sleep. No joke.
You know. But ladies and gentlemen, you can find us at Perched on the Top Shelf with the Perched on the Top Rope Network, youtube.com/Perched on the Top Rope. I got to take a big breath because it's going to be really, really long. Ladies and gentlemen, you can find us at Apple, Google, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, Podbay, Red Circle, and anywhere podcasts are found. It is Perched on the Top Rope, but we are Perched on the Top Shelf. We are under the Perched on the Top Rope Network. You can find us on TikTok at Perched on the Top Rope, where we have hilarious Selena scenes recreating the greatest moments in wrestling history. And you're not going to convince me that Zack Ryder winning the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania 32 is not one of the greatest moments in wrestling history. Hence, it's a Selena scene. And you know what? If that doesn't tickle your fancy, then you can go and you can watch the Taskmaster, Kevin Sullivan. That's right, WCW's Taskmaster, Kevin Sullivan. Some of you wanted to believe that he killed Chris Benoit, Nancy, and their son. You're wrong. Conspiracy theories, no. Anyway, you can watch Kevin Sullivan get humped by a dog. It's tiktok.com/perched on the top rope. Every Sunday over on twitch.tv/perched on the top rope, you can watch the adorable one, Alex Todd, streaming anything WWE video game related, but also will be streaming a lot of old school classics as well, non-wrestling related. You can find us at Twitter at Perched Top Rope. You can find us on Instagram at Perched on the Top Rope Podcast. You can also find us on Facebook. We are coming close to 11,000 followers. It is facebook.com/perched on the top rope. And for all of those countries on podcasting that have kept us in Chartable's top 250, Ireland, we've been with y'all for 2 years. America, Great Britain, Canada, Ireland, Germany, Australia, Indonesia. We've been number 1 in. Thank you for that. We're in 8 countries total. Thank you for tuning in each and every week and listening. You can catch us Friday, 12:30, new podcast episode for Perched on the Top Rope. This is Perched on the Top Shelf. Ladies and gentlemen, if your figure is not in a case, you don't have a chase. We're out.
Damn, he really went full Excalibur right there.
Yeah, he went it.